Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Love and Entertainment. We were on a break for a little while, but we are finally back, and we're going to be talking about One Battle After Another, which came out in recently, actually. It came out in 2025. They actually won a Golden Globe for it. Well, Tiana Taylor did, but we'll talk about that later. But honestly, this is a really it was good to me. It was just like long. That movie's like two and like 45 minutes long. But anyways, before I get into like, what I think about the movie and stuff like that, I'm gonna give you a little bit of like backstory and stuff to know. So this is an action thriller directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, which is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, who is basically a washed-up revolutionary whose daughter goes missing, which means he has to confront his past and, go find her. I'm not gonna lie, when you're watching this movie, just keep in mind that it is a long movie, and it's like action-packed 24/7. So if that's your kind of movie, I really do recommend that you watch it because there was a lot going on, and it's very. It's very telling to what's going on today. Like, it very much like coincides with what's going on today with like ICE and all of that stuff. But yeah, it took me 2 days to finish it, so just keep that in mind. This was inspired by the 1990 novel Vineland, I believe, by Thomas Pynchon. We're gonna go with that. Which was around the time that Reagan was elected, and they had like a whole rebellion going on, and like the war on drugs, and it was basically. Yeah. But it had a budget of 130 to 175 million dollars, which is a lot. But I mean, for everything that was going on in the movie, it makes sense. It's just that's a lot of money. But like I said, Tiana Taylor did win a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in the movie, which honestly to me, she did good in the movie. It's just that I don't think she deserved a Golden Globe for it, because the whole time she was only in the movie for what, 30 minutes, if that. So I'm just, but you know what? It's whatever, because it was good. It's just that I don't think she specifically deserved a Golden Globe for it. I believe that there was like some other characters who were really good in the movie who definitely should have got that Golden Globe. But so Tiana Taylor plays the role of Perfidia Beverly Hills, which Perfidia is a part of the French 75, which is basically like a left domestic terrorist organization, which is modeled after the real life 1970s Weather Underground. And I did do a little bit of research on this because I was watching New Rockstar's video about it. And basically, the Weather Underground was conducted 25 bombings in the U.S., basically wanting to overthrow the government, protesting the Vietnam War, and fighting racism, and all that good stuff. So now that I've got all of that good stuff out of the way, if you have not seen the movie, go watch it, because there's going to be spoilers ahead, and I don't want y'all coming in the comments being like, oh, why didn't you do you da-da-da-da-da. No, I don't want to hear it. Okay, just if you just go watch the movie and then come back to the video. Okay, so by the way, for the breakdown, I'm going to be using instead of using like the names in the movie, I'm going to be using their real name, just so it's easier for us to like remember who we're talking about, right? So for Perfidia, I'm going to be using, I'm probably going to be saying TT or Tiana Taylor. And then for Leonardo DiCaprio, just character, I'm just going to be saying Leo. And then and then Regina Hall, obviously I'm just going to be saying Regina, just because I forgot what her character's name is, but like, we're here. So basically the whole film is, like I said, commenting on the government's immigration policies and like the enforcement of ICE, which, like I said, is very fitting for what's going on in the world today. You know, we have a lot of stuff going on with, you know, ICE and all of that gets, or not good stuff, but you know what I mean, like all of that stuff. So the movie is very telling to what's going on today, which I thought was really cool and really interesting. I don't know if they meant to do it like that, but it is very telling to what's going on, if you know what I mean. So, like I said, Leonardo DiCaprio is in it. He plays the character Pat Calhoun, aka Rocket Man, aka Ghetto, which is what Tiana Taylor calls him, which I thought was funny. But anyways, he ends up joining the Friend 75, and so the action starts with Leo lighting fireworks to like basically blind the backup from being able to come and whatever. And so TT ends up finding Captain Lockjaw. Yeah, Captain Stephen Lockjaw, who plays Sean Penn, or who is played by Sean Penn, and they find him, or she finds him sleeping, and plays into this like dominant role of messing with it, and he likes it. Which, okay, this part was actually so weird to me because it's such an interesting. This is such an interesting way to start off a movie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like there was a lot going on. I was so confused for like the first half of the movie because there was so much going on, like back to back to back, which is why this is going to be. Just know I got a lot of stuff. So this is, yeah, we're gonna be here for a minute. So you know, but I did think it was very. Weird because she's trying to, from what I've seen, like, because when I first watched it I was so confused, and then like I started watching like reviews on the movie and like breakdowns and stuff like that, and it was like she's trying to take control of his body by activating like a part of his body that he can't control, because you know she was like, oh, you know, I want you to get up, but I want you to get it up. You know what I mean? I feel like I can't really like. This is also such a hard movie to talk about because I feel like I can't really like, you know, talk about it. But you know what? If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And then she like takes his hat and his gun and basically emasculating him and trying to take his power. What I found weird about it is that he actually like liked it, and he was just like, instead of like embarrassing him or making him feel like emasculated, which I guess technically he was feeling emasculated, but he just ends up liking it and obsessing over her the whole entire movie, which we'll get back into that later. And so then Tiana ends up calling a whole bunch of people and like, you know, or calls the senator about you know, abortion laws and stuff like that, or about the abortion ban, and basically just blows a whole bunch of stuff up. And Lockjaw, he literally is sitting in his car, I'm guessing, you know, how do I put this? He's going off on himself, and just like watching it happen, and basically allows them to like blow stuff up. And then I guess he ends up being jealous of Leo for being with Tiana, which again is weird in itself, but whatever. The other thing that I thought was very interesting about this revolution, by the way, is that they weren't trying to hurt anybody. They were really just trying to like burn down infrastructure and like hurt the government, not hurt its people. You know what I mean? Like, they were really just fighting for what was right. You know what I mean? So during one of the bomb heists, Lockjaw ends up catching TT in the bathroom and basically says that he doesn't care that she's, you know, blowing stuff up. He could care less. He just wants his hat and his gun back. And mind you, another thing that I noticed is that she didn't tell Leo what happened, and so I'm guessing it's the movie's trying to insinuate that she was just using both him and Lockjaw for power. like she didn't really care about either. She might have cared about Leo, but she didn't really care. She didn't care enough about them to care about the power less, if that makes sense. Like she cared about the power more than she cared about them. You know what I mean? So Tiana and Lockjaw ended up hooking up, and I'm guessing when I was watching the movie, I'm guessing she did it so that she could, like, I don't think she wanted to. I think she was just doing it to, like, keep him in, like, so that she could keep him quiet and they can stay in power so that she doesn't, like, lose that, because she knows that, you know, since he's a captain or whatever, that he can go tell anytime he wants to. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm guessing she didn't really want to do it. It was just more of, like, she wanted power. Like, she didn't want to lose the power that she was getting from, you know, the bombings and all this other stuff. So then it just, like, switches to Tiana Taylor with a baby bump. And to be honest, my first thought wasn't that the kid was hers. I mean, not the kid was hers. My first thought wasn't that the kid was Lockjaw's. I honestly thought it could have been either Leo's or Lockjaw's. And the only reason I say that, like, I know, like, obviously it kind of insinuates because it goes straight from that happening to, you know, that scene straight into her having a baby gun. I mean, a baby gun, a baby bump with a gun, you know, and all that stuff. But honestly, I really thought it could be either. Like, the whole movie, I was like, well, technically it could be either's because, you know, she did that with him that one time, and then she was doing it with Leo, you know, all the time. You know what I mean? And so I honestly did think it could be either of them, just for that simple fact. But the baby being Lockjaw's could also explain why the relationship with Tiana and her baby was so complicated, and why she was so, like, upset over it. Because in the movie, it was, or she was saying that it was more like she felt like Leo was, you know, more attentive to the baby than he was to her. But, you know, it's a baby. That's kind of how that works. But also, I feel like I think she was just expecting him to, like, notice that something was wrong, and that, like she was trying to talk to him about it without actually telling him what happened. Because I feel like she knew that the baby was hers. I mean, was Lockjaw's. It's just she didn't want to admit that to Leo for whatever reason. But I also think it was also because, like, she just wanted to be more of a, like, she didn't want to be a mom. She wanted to be a revolutionary. She thought the baby was holding her back from her power. But I honestly, because that's what she said, but, like, I don't think that's the genuine reason. I really just think that she was just, like, the whole situation was making her depressed about it. And she just couldn't handle all of that. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't know how to handle that. Because Leo was clueless about the baby the whole entire movie. Like, he was so clueless about the idea that it wasn't his the whole entire movie. And to be honest, I don't think he ever found out. And if he did, they didn't really, like, talk about it. But I don't know. Another thing is that because of the abortion ban that I was talking about earlier, I'm guessing that she couldn't abort it even if she wanted to, because, you know, the laws were, like, you know what I mean? Which, that's what they said in the video. But also, I also feel like because they were such, you know, revolutionaries and, you know, not caring about the law, I figured that they would, if she wanted to, she could have. Like, she could have found somebody to do it for her. You know what I mean? So I think a part of her did want to keep it. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more to it than just, like, I feel like there's a bunch of theories on what could have happened with that. You know what I mean? So also, Regina Hall is also in this movie. Like I said earlier, she's seen like a godmom basically to Willa, which is the baby. So after all that happens, Tiana ends up leaving, so Leo can be a single father. Because like I said, I guess it was too much for her, but that's kind of my interpretation of it. Yeah, she basically just chose being a revolutionary over being a mom. And then, like, while Leo's in line, Lockjaw, like, creepily comes up behind Leo with his, like, I love black women so much, like, I love black women more than you do. Like, it was weird, but, like, he just randomly came up to her and stuff like that. And then during one of their, not there, but during Tiana Taylor's last bombing or whatever, she ends up getting arrested. And so when Leo finds out, he gets the baby ready to flee, and Billy Goat, which is like, I'm guessing they're like their sciencey guy. Billy Goat gives them a device to find all French 75. So, like, if the other person has that device and it comes, like, close to it or whatever, that means that you could trust that person with your life, basically. And they know and everything like that. So, Tiana Taylor ends up snitching on everybody so she won't get arrested. And it's basically put into, like, a government safe house. And all of the people who were part of the French 75 were rather shot or arrested. And if they weren't found, they went into hiding. And they were all, by Lockjaw, obviously. And then she ends up leaving, or Tiana Taylor ends up leaving Lockjaw a note saying basically, I can't be held down, yada, 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 yada. And I'm guessing I think they insinuated that she left to, like, Puerto Rico, or, like, I don't know, like, she just, like, disappeared. I don't know where she went. I don't know if she died. Like, I'm guessing she's just in hiding, but they didn't really say what happened to her after that. And then we don't see Tiana Taylor for the rest of the movie. Mind you, all of that happened in, like, the first 20-ish minutes of the movie starting. So after that, we never see Tiana Taylor for, like, the rest of the movie. And the only time we ever hear about her is in the very end when she ends up leaving Willa that note or whatever. But for a supporting actress for a Golden Globe, I don't really know if she supported. Honestly, she kind of just played, like, the character of, like, how do I say this? A 304? She really just played that kind of character where she was just sleeping around with everybody and just wanted power. Like I said, I liked her in the role. I just don't think she should have won a Golden Globe for it. You know what I mean? Like, love Tiana Taylor. I've loved Tiana Taylor for as long as I can remember. I loved her music, her artistry, yada, yada, yada. But I really don't think she should have won a Golden Globe for that. Am I saying that she did it bad? No. But should she have won a Golden Globe? No. So then we fast forward to Willa being, like, 16, which Willa is the baby, by the way. And her and Leah try to move forward to a regular life where basically Willa doesn't know anything about the past. I think that I know that Leo was very, like, skeptical. Like, he was always very protective over her, and like he would think that somebody was coming after him every, like, 5 seconds. But aside from that, I don't think they really told Willa, like, much about the past, you know what I mean? Because when the whole thing happened, she was kind of, like, very confused. I think she just knows that, like, I really just think that she just thought Leo was very overprotective over her. And basically he gave Willa the device and said that if anybody, came up to her with it, to trust them with their life. And I think that's all she really knew. And also Leo ended up telling her that Tiana Taylor was dead. Not that she, like, snitched and, went into hiding and all of that stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure she just thought, like, I'm pretty sure you just told her that she was dead. So then it, like, switches to Lockjaw ended up having to report to this, like, underground entrance for these very racist people called the Christmas Adventurers, but anyways, which is basically like a cult of white supremacists in the government and in high society. And Yeah. So they want Lockjaw to join, but they ask him like a bunch of weird questions first, like, have you ever had a baby with, a person of color? Or no, have you ever had sexual relations with a person of color? Um, yeah, do you have any kids with them? All that good stuff. And obviously, he absolutely lied, which his character is so weird to me. But we're gonna talk about this later. Well, in a second. So after that stuff, they decide that he can join, and they let him join or whatever. They said they were gonna do a background check too, but basically they let him join and whatever. So then it switches to Billy Goat getting arrested, and he broadcasts a warning to all the French 75 that hasn't gotten arrested or killed that are still in hiding, and he basically, or the government ends up basically threatening Billy Goat's sister, and all he wanted was the location of Willa and Leo, which, because again, Lockjaw is obsessed with them. Which, okay, Lockjaw's character is so interesting to me, because he's so like conflicted with himself. Like he's so like it's weird. Like he loves black women, I guess, but he hates the fact that he loves them or even like had a relationship with Tiana Taylor. It's weird. I'm guessing it's more of just like a kink type of thing, but he's not like he doesn't like the fact that he has one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's so weird to me, but he's trying to erase the fact that he lied about having a relationship with Tiana Taylor, and then so he could be a part of the Christmas Adventures, which is like basically, I feel like everything that he's done is to basically hide from himself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he hates the fact that he loves black women, which is like so weird, fetishy to me, but whatever. Anyways, so I'm guessing Regina Hall obviously, hears the message and basically crashes Willa's prom. I think it's prom or homecoming or something like that. And basically she finds Willa in the bathroom and, lets her know that she can trust her, yada, yada, yada. So after that, this is when Leo really starts getting on my nerves because he fried the heck out of his brain so much that he couldn't remember anything at all about like the codes and like a whole bunch of other stuff. And to me, he was like dead weight the whole movie, like genuinely, because he wasn't really contributing. He was really just along for the ride. Like he cussed a bunch of people. Like it was funny, but realistically, he wasn't really that helpful. Like he couldn't remember the location. He couldn't remember anything. He didn't even end up, to be honest, he didn't even end up saving Willa. Willa ended up saving herself, if you really think about it. Because she was the one who ended up getting out. She was the one who ended up, killing the last guy. Like, she literally did everything by herself. He was just there along the way. Because he didn't even find her until, like, the very end. So it just, like, I don't know. To me, he wasn't really a character that we really needed for real, aside from just, like, being funny. But I don't know. He just pissed me off the whole movie. But because the thing is that I'm guessing because like I said, he was very overprotective over Willa because he knows about the whole thing, but he still was always drinking, always smoking. Like he was literally high when they called. Anyways, but he should have known that they were gonna come and get them at some point. Like Lockjaw was gonna come looking for them at some point. You know what I mean? And so Lockjaw's team ended up searching, Leo and Willa's house. And they found the calendar for, like, because Willa was in karate. And they found, like, the calendar, and they had, like, the karate, the number for the karate dojo place. And so when I first saw that scene, I really thought they were going to call Sergio, which is Willa's karate teacher. I thought they were gonna call him and be like, hey, like, you know, if you don't, if you tell us where Leo is, we're not going to arrest you and all the people that you're keeping in yada yada yada. But because I really thought he was like gonna snitch on Leo and like, you know, turn him into the police or whatever. But he actually ended up being helpful the whole entire movie. Like I love Sergio so bad. I really think he was the one who should have won that Golden Globe. Like he was the best supporting actor for real. Like anyways, we'll get to it. But they rated everything and faked a protester throwing a Molotov cocktail so that the feds can make it seem like it wasn't peaceful. And then they ended up like shooting tear gas like straight into them, which I've heard is actually in real life is a lot of ways that the feds can make it like there's witnesses to that actually happening, to where, you know, like a fed will fake as a protester in the crowd and he'll like throw like shoot at them or, you know, like throw a Molotov cocktail, which if you don't know what a Molotov cocktail is, it's basically like a bottle and then they like light the little rag on fire and they throw it and it like blows up or whatever. I hope you know what I'm talking about because that was such a terrible description. But so I've heard that they've done that a lot to where feds will pretend to be protesters and like start something so that it makes it seem like it was to make it seem like it was non-peaceful. Sorry, brain fart. To make it seem like it was non-peaceful when it really was. But yeah. So like I said, Sergio should have gotten the award for the Golden Globe because his character carried the whole entire movie. Like he knew everybody, the lady at the desk, the lady at the hospital, like he knew everybody and he was willing to help Leo out, you know what I mean? Which I love Sergio so bad. But Leo is mad clueless the whole entire movie, and Sergio ends up helping Leo by giving him a gun while he hides the immigrants and he was helping, like, it was very Harriet Tubman style where he was like getting all the immigrants and was like, come on guys, like, you know, make sure y'all got this ready, and he took them all underground. Like it was very Harriet Tubman style. I thought it was cool. But anyways, literally during this whole scene where like Leo was trying to call the guy to get the location of like where the hideout spot is, I was literally on the edge of my seat because then the feds started coming up, and they were about to come in and bust through everything. And Leo was still on the phone while the feds were about to come in. Like, it was a lot. I was like, Leo, like, let's go. Like, you're taking way too long. You're still on this phone. Like, come on, let's go. And then Sergio ended up sending some skateboarder boys that he knew to help him escape so that he can go to wherever he needed to go to. And they were jumping over buildings and stuff. This dummy, Leo, fell trying to hop over, to hop to the next building and do some parkour and got tased and arrested. When I tell you, that pissed me off so bad when I saw that part. I was like, there's no way this dummy just fell. But, yeah, if it wasn't for Sergio, he would have gotten took because Sergio was the only person bringing him people after people to help him out to get him so that they can escape. And then he ended up going out in Sergio's car and yada, yada, yada. And so they ended up hiding out with some nuns. Oh, yeah, also during this whole thing, or not during that whole thing, but when Regina was taking Willa to go to like the hiding spot, she was like, oh, does she have a phone? And Willa was like, no, I don't got a phone. She most definitely had a phone. Because they were questioning Willa's friends, you know, if they knew her, if she had a phone, da-da-da-da-da. And they were like... And then, like, one of the guys snitched and was like, actually, she does have a phone. Like, I feel like he didn't even care. Whatever. Anyways, she was like, oh, does she have a phone? Then they called Willa's phone, and Regina Hall looked at her like, ain't no way you just lied to me about having a phone. But also, we're going to have to end up cutting this short because this is going to be too